So I went into the room, and I usually keep a Astron power supply running, and I didn't see the red light on. So what the heck happened to this? And you pull the fuse out, it's a mistake. Pulling the fuse out and replacing the fuse before finding out what happens. Because a lot of times the voltage goes twice what it originally was. And I had a commercial 800 megahertz radio on the line. I had a Yaesu 530, FT530 on it. A computer, the power supply, a laptop computer power supply, and it took out the, what did it take out?
The neighbor's jacuzzi?
Right. And it took out the power supply, the video board and the desktop computer. And a couple days later, I was driving down the road, and I remembered I had an antenna tuner on the fence. And I went back and picked that off the fence and shook it, and there was all kinds of parts inside. So
You got hit.
Was it total loss on all that equipment?
I fixed the FT530. I fixed the commercial 800 megahertz radio. The tuner on the fence was trashed. The computer, the power supply. I put an external video board on the desktop. And eventually, I was trying to figure out where it came in on, but I flipped the power supply over, and you could see on the ground lug where like sparks came out of the bottom of that. So it either came in on the power line, and when I pulled, I had an inverted L, and the end of it went down like close to a tree. And I looked, I said, if that got hit, it would have taken out the wire, would have disappeared. And when I pulled it down, the leg that hung down next to the tree, you could see where it, something that actually came out the antenna and went to the tree limb.
What's your advice?
Unplug everything.
And take up crocheting.
And the power strip. I think the only one that guarantees a power strip is, believe it or not, Radio Shack.
Let me make a statement for you. I read this someplace.
I didn't finish.
For every inch, 10,000 volts.
Yeah.
Okay? You're just not safe. I don't know. You can do all the disconnecting you want.
Yeah,
If it hits the line and comes in through your 110.
Well, I looked in the back of, I was looking at the fuse pan. And it was a ground wire, a bare ground wire, in the box. And there was a black spot. There was an arc. I said, how does the ground wire arc against the box? The box is supposed to be grounded.
Ask the power people.
How many trees go down in the neighborhood?
How many
Did
trees?
you have any trees go down?
No.
Energized neutrals are bad.
Something that you mentioned there.
Smoke panels.
Well, I noticed when whoever hooked the ground up on that, the large cable, the spike that's in the ground outside and goes to the rest of the house, they put everything together, but it wasn't clamped. So it could have been a dust width apart or whatever, and
Something you mentioned there about unplugging everything. If there is a thunder and lightning in the area, yes, unplug everything, but ground your antenna. It doesn't. If it does get hit, which is more unlikely than if it wasn't connected, when you connect the antenna up, generally there's a high point and it's a spike on the end, and it acts as a coronal discharge. Same thing static wicks do on an aeroplane. So the area around your antenna, in theory, disperses the static.
Ben Franklin's, his lightning arresters were exactly what you just said.
It's why churches have them. Yeah? They'd rather hit the church and discharge through the ground rather than not have that on the side and it would still hit the church. But it also, churches get hit less often than you actually think because it's discharging the corona at the top of the antenna, at the top of the lightning arrestor. There we go.
He said you would think that churches would be safe from getting struck by lightning.
No, they haven't got the right insurance.
You would think, but actually, my nephew sells
Insurance?
insurance to churches.
Really?
Yeah.
God bless
Now,
Wait, speaking of insurance, Sarah, do you have insurance?
him. Dude, she's got you on video
That's what I
doing
told
that.
him. I wasn't finished. I asked the other half 3 times about insurance, and she couldn't talk to me about the insurance, and I just said, forget it. I lost it. I can't fix it. I lost it.
Wow.
now, in that situation, the backup power supplies, like they have for computers that have the AVR, which is the automatic voltage regulator that suppresses, is supposed to suppress high voltage like that and keep it constant.
No, not
That,
like
that'll
that.
get blown out.
That ain't gonna help at all.
We're talking thousands of volts.
Well, these things are
It is
supposed
not-
to.
yeah.
No.
It is not designed for that.
Remember the last time you stubbed your toe on it?
They're
There
talking
it
about-
is.
They'll protect surges on the power lines.
Okay.
Lightning strikes
Brownouts.
are
Okay.
magnitudes over that.
All right.
Lightning.
Just to give you an example of how
But it's a
strong
good
it is,
question.
Russ Connors, who was a contester and moved to Kentucky, lightning hit his house and went through his tower, came inside and welded the Ken went 440 to his metal desk. He had to take a hammer to break it off. So, yeah, I don't give a damn what kind of stuff you got.
That's right.
That thing ain't gonna work.
If you're gonna disconnect, throw it out the window. Don't leave it in the room.
Sometimes the
Tower
power
away from the
ground
house
of the
like me.
house is
300 feet
Well, that's
away.
what you just said.
Or even with, I have 2 ground rods. One by my photovoltaic array, which is tied to the one by the house, which then goes into the house. But I was constantly having things blow on my phone lines. And I finally put another one where the power, I have a generator shed where the power comes into the property. And I finally put another ground rod there, and I tied it to my well casing,
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
and that stopped it.
Yeah, mine stopped it too. I've put in 4 pumps because of that same thing, tied to the ground. The house was fine.
Pump gets zapped.
It comes right through the power people's ground wire that's up there. And it's supposed to go into the ground at the pole, but it liked my well better.
Isn't it code not to join ground points over 8 feet apart from each
You're
other?
not supposed to join it, and I did it anyway.
Yeah,
And because I did, it solved the problem.
yeah.
There's also one where the meter is, because the meter's on a pole. I have underground service, but it comes up on a pole just before it comes into my property. And then it's about 50, 75 feet from the generator shed. From there it goes to the house. But they're grounded at every point.
Yeah, they suggest that with the radio shack, rather than attach your ground to the house ground, you run your own ground, going straight outside the window.
How much did I win?
Well, I had insurance where they put a galvanized ground in my place by the electric power pole. And I turned around and put a copper one there, and recently they put a new meter in, and they took my copper out.
They wanted that one.
Okay, okay.
It's a,
Marty,
And I'm Marty, KD2 JQG.
who?
Yes. And does
What's your
anybody
call sign again?
does anybody want KD2 JQG?
G.
G. Not to be confused with Jim, who is E.
E? He's E?
Yes, he's E.
Oh.
Right. And never mind. We're not going there. Does anybody
Right, we
want
did.
to
I'm done.
purchase any additional 50/50s?
Gary,
you want a 50-50?
Come on, man.
50/50s.
You might want a fortune.
you might win.
Build yourself a new ground.
You can go out with the money that you get. You can go out and buy insurance.
I still have
Oh, you have your announcements. I'm sorry.
my very nice